In this video, I'm going to talk about 8 ways to improve your skills in drawing, and these 8 ways are suggestions for your general approach. So these are not simple tips or tricks to do something better immediately, but in your general approach you can think of these things, and I will just walk through them. My first suggestion is very obvious. Draw every day and at least 5 minutes. It's important to practice on a regular basis, because only through practice you can develop yourself well. You can progress in drawing when you practice, and because you need to be able to do certain subtle movements with your hands, your fingers, your elbow. You need to develop your eye-hand coordination. So that's just practicing, and you need a lot of that to become good at any skill. You know, any skill needs a certain kind of practice. So, and drawing is not any different from that. Some people will learn it faster than others, but everyone needs something to work on. You know, you need to work on your skills. And I say at least 5 minutes. And why do I say that? Maybe you have a busy life. Maybe you don't always have time, you know, to sit anywhere. But during the day you might have a break at some moment of the day when you can do something. You know, you can, even when you go to the toilet, you have 8 minutes or 15 or whatever it takes to put something on a paper. In more than one way actually, but let's not be that creative. But when you have a break during the day, you can take something out of your pocket, a little notebook, and draw a little bit with a ballpoint. And when you are planning to draw for 5 minutes, and you have taken your notebook and your ballpoint or whatever, and you finally start drawing, you will notice that you often end up drawing maybe for 15 minutes or half an hour. So 5 minutes is just a way of lowering the barrier to draw. But 5 minutes every day is okay too. So draw whenever you can, whenever you like. The second suggestion: draw with anything that's available. When you only want to draw with that kind of special drawing paper, with a certain kind of special pencil, you actually create barriers to even start drawing. You easily have an excuse to not do something. You can draw every day with everyday writing objects like a ballpoint. There's all the, you know, usually there's somewhere a ballpoint lying around, and you can have a small inexpensive notebook with lines, doesn't matter, and you can draw a little on any kind of random paper. So there's not an excuse to not draw in that regard. You can buy cheap printer paper. I've made many drawings on cheap printer paper, and you can draw as much as you like without spending lots of money. You can use your phone to display source photographs to work from, or you can carry around a little book, perhaps with examples that you can work after. Buy a small book of works of Rembrandt or Michelangelo and draw after those, or draw after photos in a magazine, or draw what's in front of you, draw your cup of coffee or whatever. But just draw anything with with anything that's available to you. So lower the barriers for drawing, I would say. The third suggestion is reflect on your work. Look at what you've been drawing lately on a regular basis. See what you did well, but also look closely at your mistakes, things that didn't go very smoothly. You can gain an insight in your progression, your weaknesses, and you know better what to focus on in your next drawing. So that's very important, to reflect on your work in the learning process. The fourth suggestion is to show your work to other people. Present your work to others. You can show your drawings on social media, but you can also ask a trusted friend with a good eye who is honest to look at your drawings. Maybe you know an artist as well who can take an honest and critical look at your work. Try to find someone who is encouraging but also critical and whose comments you value. So when you only show it on social media, you often get likes and people say, oh, that's wonderful. You need to have that honest friend that says to you, well, you didn't do well with the nose or the eye, or I think that the shadow is a bit off. You need someone like that as well to show your work to. But it has to be encouraging, so you need to find someone who understands that only criticism isn't good either. It has to be a balance between being encouraging and being critical. And getting well-founded critique is actually encouraging. Someone takes you seriously when someone says something to you in that regard. If it's appropriate. Make a plan in practicing drawing. It's good to make some sort of plan when you are developing yourself in drawing. When you have focused on drawing faces, you might want to focus on drawing hands. When you have drawn hands, you might want to draw an arm and a hand. You can go from one thing to another in a natural progression. So when you have practiced eyes and noses separately, you can go to practicing a complete face. When you practice a complete face, you need to get the tonal values right as well of the whole face instead of only a detail, etc. So you can progress into more difficult territories and try to master them. And when you reflect on your work, suggestion number 3, that was, you can also adjust your plan to practice those things that you haven't been giving attention to. So making a plan and practicing goes together with reflecting on your work. So suggestion 3 and 5 are our combination. You can use those in a combination. Suggestion number 6, it's important to keep it fresh. So try different things. On the one hand, you want to have a plan and stick to it. You want to be able to progress, and certain specialization is sometimes necessary. If you want to draw faces, that's your specialization, but you can progress from there. But on the other hand, you want to keep things varied. You want to try different materials. You can go to the art store and see what kind of pencils or brushes or other things there are that you haven't tried yet. If you have used hatchings, maybe you can use dots to create a shadow, or the combination of hatchings and dots, and that way you can try things you haven't done before and keep it fresh, because if you do the same things over and over again, it can be a bit tiring and tedious. Suggestion number 7 is to take breaks. When you have been drawing for a while, don't feel guilty for not drawing for a while. Taking a break from drawing can be beneficial. This seems to contradict suggestion number 1, to practice on a regular basis every day, at least 5 minutes. But I found that when I've been drawing for a while, and for whatever reason I have not been drawing for a while, that it's refreshing, and sometimes I even felt that I had improved after not being active in drawing for a while. So especially when you have been drawing quite a lot, I would say take a break sometimes as well. Do something else. Focus, for example, on making good source photographs, or go to a museum, or study other aspects of art, or just take a break completely. And when you return to your drawing, you may have a different perspective or a refreshed state of mind for drawing, or you just notice that some things are going quite well, and you wonder, how is that possible, because I haven't done anything. But sometimes I feel that when you do something for a while and you stop with it, that the mind on a subconscious level processes the information and the practice, and maybe it has something to do with that. But that's just, I don't know what the mind does, but that's what I think. That's what I think at this moment, because I've experienced that sometimes to just do nothing for a while, and when you return to drawing, something seems to be resolved. I'm not saying that it always works that way, but always drawing every day for years, that's not what I mean either with suggestion number 1. So a healthy habit of drawing, but also not drawing for a while, I think that's good. And it helps to keep it fun. Don't push yourself too much. Try to draw from passion rather than working from discipline, because otherwise you get bored and tired, and things can turn into a dead end. Draw the things that you like to draw, and once you master them, other things will become easier as well. For example, if you don't like to draw feet, just keep drawing faces. Once you can draw a face properly from life, you can draw feet from life as well, because if you practice measurements and hatchings of shadows or whatever you have from a face, and if you progress in that, then you develop your skills in such a way that when you have to draw a feet, then that goes as you can do that as well. I remember reading an article, I think it was guitarist Steve Vai or something, and he practiced only what he liked to practice, and he became a very good guitarist. So keep it fun, do the things that you like. And in the description of this video you can read these 8 ways to improve your drawing, and maybe it helps to get through a certain level that you feel maybe you're stuck in what you're doing right now. You feel that you do not improve. Think about taking a break for a while. Think about reflecting on your work. Think about showing your work to someone else who might have a suggestion. Make a new plan. Draw every day for 5 minutes, and if you have done that for a while, take a break and try different things, and most of all keep it fun. And it should be a fun activity, whether you do this as a hobby or as a profession. It has to be fresh, and sometimes you need some refreshment in your approach. So I hope these suggestions help, and I'm looking forward to your suggestions or your ways to improve your drawing in your comments on this video. So looking forward to what you think of these, and thank you for your attention for this video. Thank you.